Just leaving my favorite landscape lawn supply store. Really, I'd say outdoor power equipment supply store. Just picked up a generator I had. It was broken, and thought I had an issue with my tractor, lawnmower. Turns out I was just low on hydraulic fluid. That's why my steering wasn't working. But anyway, that's not really that valuable for you guys. What is interesting is I walk in there, and one of the guys that has been serving me literally since I was 14 with go-kart parts, he's got his mask on, right? And I was like, that's interesting. He doesn't normally wear it, but I'm like, that's interesting. Like, what's going on? Kind of talk to the guys, whatever. They've had the Rona roll through that shop, put them a little bit behind. They're outstaffed. They're down 2 mechanics, and they're down like 3 personnel on like the floor space. Pretty big outfit. I mean, those guys they're well over $5 million a year business, or right around there, I think. I know at 4 million, they were like, oh yeah, we're beyond that. Like, this was a couple of years ago. Huge. I mean, they do business there, revenue wise. So being down 2 or 3 or 5 people, pretty big deal. But I want to talk about the individual freedom and right to choose that I just saw there that I'm super impressed with. Number one, we're all going to catch the flu at some points in time. Now the flu has a name. But before it had a name, it was just the flu. And there were certain flus that were worse than others, like the flu of 19. AKA the C of 19, YouTube friendly. Like, yeah, it was bad, right? Well, we saw the effects of it in 20, right? But it was still the same strand. And then we moved on to we'll probably have a 21 or 22 that'll be like the most epic ever. Not to make light of the situation, I understand that people get sick, but the survival rate is very good. Very, very good. But I want to talk about the economics of what's going on in that place, because it's a landscape supply area, and it has to do with a lot of things. And so I just talked to the employees, and one of the guys at the front counter has chosen, because they are dealing with it going around, that he's going to wear a mask. Freaking smart. You know what? That's good. Because it kind of shows that you're making some effort. It kind of shows, hey, maybe I've been around my coworkers all week. Maybe I'll wear a mask today because, why not? In case I sneeze, why not? And he's wearing it properly. He's not touching his face. He's handling money, things like that. Cash, transactions. He's working the computer. He's not he's doing it properly. But he's an older gentleman. He's like in his 50s. He knows what he's doing. I've known him for a long time. Other guys in there that are in mechanic bay, they're not wearing masks. And they're like, oh yeah, my guy over here is sick, but he works on the other side of the shop. They work in their own little pods, their own little spaces. And they don't feel like it's a risk to them, or they're not sick at this point in time, and they're hoping that their coworkers do come back. The fact is that it's going to run around that place until 65% of them have had it. That's fact. And the sooner that they have it, then the more likely that they're done with it. Because once they have 65% infection rate, they're not going to see it circle around as fast. At first, it came in there and boom, this guy's down, that guy's down, that guy's down. Can you really prevent it? And at what cost can you prevent it? I thought this was interesting. One of the girls at the counter is like, well, one, not only do I have to work extra hard because my coworkers are down, which sucks, but two, I don't have anyone to take care of my kids. So if my kids get sick or I get sick, I have to take time off for both of those occurrences. And we were talking about the cash flow and the money part of that. Now that's a really smaller business. I know the owner there, like him and his wife have owned that place for over 20 years. And he has the same faces in there that he's had for 5 or 10 years. Sometimes new people, but they stay. He's just a fabulous guy to work for. I'm sure he's making accommodations to the best of his ability. It's not like he has a money printer like the feds where they can just give it out to everybody. But I'm sure that he's trying to work with that. But I thought that was an interesting situation, because here we have, relatively blue collar employees, maybe making 35, maybe up to 50,000 a year. This one doesn't have anyone to take care of her kids. If she's out and she misses time and she doesn't have vacation days, that is a financial burden to them. It's better that we just do it and get it over with. What we're currently doing is we're putting things in people's arms, and then, well, they're immune, but they're not immune, but they're 40% less likely, but not really. It's 40%. Oh no, now it's 40% effective. We don't know. Well, it's not really, it's not like the other ones that we have. This is a new one, and we've never had a successful one for this type of sickness. We've never, ever had a successful one. But then somehow in 90 days, we got one. But it's a totally new, mRNA thingy. It has a spike protein. Watch for it, because it doesn't just stay where it's put. It moves around and can cause certain effects on your body. I've seen this with my own family members. I've seen whoa, what's up with that growth? Or I've seen we've had a few people, distant family, where I'm like, woo, super healthy people, all of a sudden now they're getting sick a lot. And it's like, gonna need to go in there and get your boosters all the time. Now you're like an iPhone. They're gonna have to update you all the time because you've really started to mess with it. I mean, I don't know how you detox from that stuff. So I just think it's interesting because we have a small business, and I think that they should be allowed, not allowed, it's their constitutional freaking God-given freedom, that they can make up their own choices. As a customer, I can make up my own choice. I walk in there, hey, our staff is down, we've had a COVID issue here. Okay, good to know. All right, cool. Leave the place, you know what I mean? Make sure I got my hand sanitizer. I'm not an idiot, right? But I'm anti mandating your masks and stuff like that. But I'll hand sanitizer up, I was outside. I didn't have any close contact. I didn't get this close with anybody. I understand, hey, yeah, people have been sick. Got it. No big deal. I was at the hairdresser. She's not sick, right? Just a minute ago. But each individual business should have the choice to make up their mind. And then as a customer, I can make up my mind. Do I want to go to the store? Do I want to have things delivered to me? They offer delivery services. How do I want to treat this? Ultimately, getting out in the sun kills it. That's a fact. They don't tell you that. Getting out and getting exercise, yeah, that's what's up. Getting some health, like getting healthy foods, like cut your GMOs, stop eating cheese puffs, and I love cheese puffs. I mean, I do. Don't drink soda. Cut your alcohol down or not at all. Don't smoke. There's a lot of things you can do, and then get a lot of sunlight, because vitamin D is actually a hormone. It actually turns into a hormone. I'm not a doctor, and I don't play one on the internet, but what I'm saying is that those are common sense solutions that are not even news stories. Hey, get some exercise, cut out your crap, cut out your sugars, cut out your fats. Get out there and get some sun. And avoid people. And if you're not feeling good, or you're not sure, or you want to be like my boy Dale at the register, wearing a mask, dealing with customers, I get it, man. I respect it 100%. But like our local schools here in Sarasota County, well, we're gonna mandate that the children are gonna wear masks because we are the authority. Well, how do we know that masks aren't the super spreaders? Because if you think about it rationally, which is illegal, and you might get put on a list if you think free and you think rationally. Just remember that. We don't call it breastfeeding, we call it chest feeding. And you can get canceled for saying that a man cannot become pregnant. Remember, don't engage in free thought activities, because we are moving into something so much more than the Soviet Union, and we want to make sure that everybody is equally poor. And what people don't understand, what America hasn't figured out, is that we are in a depression. We are in a decline. And until there's a competing force, not a competing force, but an object in motion stays in motion until acted upon. We're on the slope downward. It might look like the stock market's up, adjusted for inflation. Is it not? Yeah, might look like everything's okay, but the access of goods and services that we all have access to is severely diminished. The amount of parts that they can get in less than 6 week time period is severely diminished. It used to be overnight and everybody wanted. So we are becoming poor, and the society is shifting. And eventually what will happen is we'll offer less brands at that store. There won't be 15 models to choose from. There'll be 3. They'll stock parts for the entire thing, engines, engines, electronics, a whole thing. And they'll just inventory them. And then they'll be able to just say, hey, we offer these 3 products, and we can service them within a timely manner. You won't have the choice of 15 anymore. You'll have 3. And then those other manufacturers will go out of business or merge, so they'll become larger. And then there will be unemployment from that. And then we'll have to wait for it to sift itself out for those people to find a new thing that they could make. I have a ton of ideas for new machines that need to happen. But, we have the EPA, you have to adhere to them, you have the regulators. So until all of that's choking the economy is gone, and the only way to peacefully do it is to switch your currency. Vote with your dollars. Stop using the dollar. I literally pay people in silver. I literally pay people in crypto. I pay people in dollars as well. I pay bills in dollars. I utilize it, but I'm stocking crypto. If you're like Trav today, you're cut off from the US dollar system. You are permanently on crypto. I could do it, but the amount of people that I could trade with would be less, right? Because even my guys here, hey, would you guys want to take some crypto at this point? Oh, Trav, but they know I've always been the guy that's been coming in way ahead of time. And then yo, if you want me to teach you, I'll teach you. like electric chainsaws and solar panels. I was messing with all that stuff in 2009, 2010, all that stuff for fun. And so like they've helped me do a lot of different projects for fun. I ran a truck on vegetable oil. So always interested in all these alternatives. So I'm like, hey, Jeff, you want me to help you set up a register that you can accept crypto at, and a node where you can accept crypto, and then your guys coming in can start to use crypto, and then those guys that have families overseas or across the pond or over in Mexico, they can send money without Western Union not paying any fees. They can send it right to their people, no problem. And they're like, oh man, that's kind of, that actually changes the game a little bit. I was like, that changes the game a lot of it. We're not there, it's early, I get it. But imagine that, your customers are paying in Litecoin, and then they're paying their employees in Litecoin, and they can ship it back home to Mexico, no problem. Two couple minutes, just right on your phone, done. Changes the game. Or they're stuck in this US dollar system where you need your ID and you need all these things to access the payment system. You don't need your ID to vote, because no, we don't need that. But you do need your ID to enter the fiat dollar system. Maybe we should just do away with the fiat dollar system. Maybe if we got away with the fiat dollar system, maybe we wouldn't have organizations like the WHO and the how and the what and the his. All these different things that tell you how to live your life. I mean, isn't it amazing that the WHO, a very small, not small, but minuscule, non-elected government organization, has been able to come in and become the housing czar of North America? Isn't it interesting that they've been able to influence the entire housing market as to who pays rent and when rent's due and when mortgages are due, that they were able to come in and go, with our authority that is vested on me by freaking nobody and absolutely zero constitutional right to do this, I am mandating that rent will not be due until February of whatever year I haven't decided yet. That's interesting. That's also a depression and a slippery slope into tyranny, which we're already in. But until it's acted upon and it reverses, it's not going to stop. So you already know where we're going. You and I are going to become poorer as the next few years unfold. And then eventually it'll hit a bottom, whenever that bottom is. In the 1500s, 1400s, less earlier than that, 1200s, I mean, it just bottomed and stayed there for a long time. It was like you had the Renaissance, and then it bottomed, and then it just stayed there until like Martin Luther knocked something on a church door, and he's basically like, yeah, I'm not 100% hip with the Catholic Church here, but I got a printing press, which is a new piece of technology, and I'm about to print some crap. What are you going to do about it? Well, fast forward 150 years into that, some guys are sitting around in taverns in Massachusetts thinking, hey, this king, he's charging us 6% tax on tea. 6% on tea. This is outrageous. Body's got to drop. Whoa, man. I pay 6% and I'm about to go pay 6% right now for a tea. That tax never left. I'm paying 6%. It's going to the state of Florida. And on top of that, I'm going to pay federal income tax to the feds unless I hire my accountant and I buy things. Because I know the system, I play the system. System makes me wealthier. Everybody else that doesn't play the system, they get screwed. People that really play the system, they become absolute billionaires. The system's set up like that. It's unfortunate, but it's how it's set up. But unless we start talking about these ideas, sharing these ideas, asking, hey, what are the proper ways to do this? Why don't we put the decision-making power in the hands of the business owner and in the hands of his employees? Let them figure it out. Should we mandate it at the state level? Because it's not. Should we mandate it at the federal level? Because it is. So should we mandate these things? And then, or should the business leader be free to do it? And if he's not free to do it, what are the probabilities that my friend Jeff over there, who is an absolute multimillionaire, you ever read the book Millionaire Next Door? I'll link to it. If you guys buy those books or any of those links, they do help the channel. It's appreciated. He's definitely a millionaire next door, 100%. He literally lived across in the neighborhood next to me growing up. I know, I guaranteed, total millionaire next door type of guy. Maybe he just says screw it. Goes to Cancun, drinks tequila. He's got enough cash. He doesn't need to work anymore. He works for fun. He works because he literally likes to work on engines. He's literally in the back there cranking on wrenches. He's got the whole place running on itself. His wife's in the back office. All the employees have been there for years and years and years. They love doing what they do. He loves doing what he does. But if we make these regulations on him, what's the odds that he closes up shop and 15 people lose their jobs and have to go somewhere else? 15 people that have had a consistent, steady job for well over 10 years. I think he's got more than 15 people. But you can see how this starts to play out. What if we start to regulate, well, you're not diverse enough. I don't see enough diversity. Like, the people that go in there are like kids that want to mess with motors and engines. They like them getting grease. People that want to work the front office. People that want to sell power equipment. I mean, it's a diverse group of people, but it's like as diverse as it gets. Like, hey guys, who wants to work at a lawn power supply store? Like, this is what we do. Pays good. This is what we do. It's hotter in the summer, it's colder in the winter. I mean, do you want to work here? I mean, that's, but if we mandate, well, you don't have enough gays, you don't have enough trans, you don't have enough people that are blue, you don't have enough people that are purple, you don't have enough people that are orange, you don't have enough people that are whatever we want to mandate. Well, what are the odds that my friend Jeff just goes, you know what, I don't need this. And he sells the real estate, rents the real estate, he leaves. And he just goes somewhere else. He just goes fishing. Just goes to whatever. See, that's what we don't see that's already happening. I made that decision like 4 years ago. I had some employees like, you know what, I'm not right now. I use part-time guys, I use subcontractors all the time. I was like, yeah, not right now. And when I have hired, and I have employees right now, they're overseas. I'm literally shipping currency overseas to get labor at cheaper prices. That's pretty negative for American workers, but I can't find American workers that want to do that type of work. I need graphic artists, I need people to write copy, I need things done like that for other projects I have, other business entities I have. I need things done. And so I just completely staff it with subcontractors. But I just want to put those ideas out, because if we don't share these ideas and liking these videos, and it helps to send it out to people, we don't share these ideas, we don't post these ideas on different social platforms, if we don't have these conversations, you're going to not only lose your republic, which you've already lost, you're going to lose your democracy, and it's going to turn into a tyrant. And we're gonna get in a really scary spot here, and then people like me are probably gonna leave. Like, I would love to sit here and like Red Dawn this shit out, like I really would, but like I look around, I'm just like, I don't see any fight, and I'm in the state of Florida, and I don't see it, man. I see a few crazies, and they're gonna be easy to round up. Maybe I'm wrong, but it looks like to me it's like, where is there more freedom? And it's really, the whole world's pretty much burning right now. But chiller Latin American countries, up in the mountains of Mexico, things like that. I mean, I'm with that. If I get a couple buddies and they're like, hey man, let's just go get a 1,000-acre ranch in Mexico and just like do our thing, grow avocados, just do our thing. Yeah, it's easy. Price of avocados is gonna go up. Take like a couple of us to do it. Just mess around with tractors all day. Be pretty cool. Tequila would be cheaper. Get Coronas cheaper. Go sing and dance in some Mexican villages. It actually sounds like a freaking great time, right? And we could just exit. But we have the ability and the resources to do so. Not everybody does. And at this point in time, it's like you need to just begin those steps, even those employees. And that's why I'm like, hey man, let's start implementing the crypto into the space here. The fiat system isn't totally working for these employees. They're not totally getting ahead. Let's start implementing what we could do here and start making changes. But anyway, food for thought. Appreciate you guys liking it, subscribing, and just watching these videos.